It is a good morning to be together. When winter's darkness spreads across the land and cold seeps through our thickest coats, we hurry here, drawn by the warmth of faces familiar and new, to the welcoming walls of this house. Here, for this hour, we open ourselves to new understanding, reassurance, and hope, for this is a place where truth, love, and challenge meet. Welcome. It is a good morning to be together. As is our custom, if you'd like to come and light a candle for whatever personal or private reason, please do so while we sit in stillness listening to the prelude. Please stand in body or spirit for our chalice lighting and spoken affirmation. We light this chalice to affirm that new light is ever waiting to break through to enlighten our ways, that new truth is ever waiting to break through to illuminate our minds, and that new love is ever waiting to break through to warm our hearts. May we be open to this light and to the rich possibilities that it brings us. Join me as together we remind ourselves of the affirmation that is a cornerstone of our free faith tradition. The words, should you need them, are in the morning program. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. Everything is about to change, and it already has. It will be, it was, it is. The dawn you eagerly await to end the long, cold darkness is already full sun far off in the east. Yet even after light's return, spring is months away. 30 long years pass after his birth before the Messiah comes. Stones of justice have been tossed in the lake, but their ripples have not yet arrived, have not resolved into the kingdom already present among us. While we wait, let us seek in the darkness of the now and not yet for the treasures God has hidden there, the riches of the secret places only found by night. This is what is promised us. The wheel of life turns ever on, and darkness is a path to joy. Our first song is We Are the World.
Children, we are the ones to make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a children. We are the ones to make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me.
When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall.
Let us realize that a change will only come when we stand together as one, as one.
Heal the world.
We are the world.
Make it better.
We are the children. Make a better day, so let's start getting started. There's a choice we're making, darling. If you're staring off from the living,
Make a better place for you
just and for me.
Heal the world. Heal us. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. Make a better place for you, just and for me. Just and for me. Just and for me. You and me.
A covenant is not a definition of a relationship. It is the framework for our relating. A covenant leaves room for chance and change. It is humble toward evolution. It claims, I will abide with you in this common endeavor, be present as best I can in our becoming. This calls for a level of trust, courage, and sacrifice that needs to be nurtured, renewed, and affirmed on a regular basis. A creed creates a static truth, something that does not incorporate new insights and realities. A covenant is a dance of co-creation, keeping in step with one another in the flow of our lives. A creed seeks uniformity and a unison voice. A covenant seeks harmony and a shared voice. Sometimes we may arrive at a unison, but it is not required. A creed gives authority to the statement. A covenant gives authority to shared intention. A creed creates an us and them. A covenant invites relationship. A creed is a prescription that must be relied on. A covenant relies on the treasures of shared truth. The overall trust within this covenant is in the truth, capital T, something which no one person can fully see, yet something which each and every person can come to know in glimpses, in another story, in epiphanies. Truth is ever-changing in our seeking to understand because of our limited perspectives. We grow into a deeper sense of the meaning of all things when we take our journey seriously, with full heart and mind. The courage within this covenant is in the acceptance and celebration of life, with all of its challenges, pain, ironies, and joys. And the sacrifice within this covenant is in letting go of dogma, of assumptions of control, and giving over to a greater wisdom which comes to us in bits and pieces. The task of this covenant is to take responsibility for the freedom we espouse. We know that we are interconnected and that what we do creates ripples of hope or despair, of affirmation or negation. What we do with and for one another is powerful and beyond our imagining. Our practices this morning on gratitude is brought to us by Susan Gray, UUA President.
Greetings, Unitarian Universalists. As we enter this season of holidays and holy days, we have an opportunity to draw our attention to what sustains us, to draw our attention to sources of gratitude and love. However you celebrate, holidays and rituals are an invitation for reflection. They remind us of our past, which can bring both joy and sorrow. But they also invite us to be especially attentive to the present moment. Practicing gratitude is a way of being intentional and taking time to name the gifts that surround us, to name what we are grateful for. And this reminds us of our fundamental interdependence. When I ask myself what I'm grateful for, I think of those I love and the people who love me. I think of those who have shaped me and inspire me. I give thanks for the earth which sustains my life and all life. I give thanks for the blue sky or the rain, for the sun and the trees, for the wind in my face, for the life-giving water. Through this practice, we experience our fundamental interconnectedness, the larger embrace and web in which we are held. Now, a wonderful thing about gratitude is that it is concrete. We know what it is to feel thankful. On the one hand, gratitude is simple and clear. However, when we really foster a deep practice of gratitude into our lives, into our communities, into our cultural practices, we realize how incredibly powerful it is. Gratitude is a concrete practice that unlocks a generosity of spirit and a generosity of love, experiencing our interconnectedness, experiencing the ways that we are not isolated beings, but deeply connected and held by gifts beyond our own making. This inspires us to nurture more attention and care into those connections. So I am calling myself back to gratitude these days as a way of finding my own way through the enormous grief and exhaustion and struggle and fear that has been a part of our lives every day in the midst of so much tumult and the pandemic. A daily practice of gratitude has been saving me right now. And as I turn toward gratitude, I find my way toward more joy, sustenance, pleasure, and the gift of the present. And one of the things I am incredibly grateful for is all of you, and for this faith that we share, and that calls us continually to life, to love, to justice, and towards one another. May the rituals that mark this season of holidays and holy days, rituals in your family, in your home, in your community, may they bring moments of deep gratitude and joy and beauty to sustain and strengthen your spirit in all the days ahead. Blessed be, and love to all of you.
I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
You know our world is in great pain. She needs our loving care again. But there are those who fail to see what we have done and what we need.
There is a cost for every act, and now there is no turning back. We burn a bridge, we bang a drum. It's time to rise, the time has come to stand for love,
To stand for peace, to stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. To stand for hope, to stand for you. If you're thinking it's not urgent, that we've got more time to kill, if I'm not the one who'll change things, then for heaven's sake, who will? So I will move and I will climb that mountain one step at a time. I won't be swayed, I will not stop until we've made it to the top, where we will stand for love and peace. We'll stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. We'll stand for hope, we'll stand for you. What is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
This morning is our sharing service. By a show of hands, please identify if you have something you want to share. Marion, we'll start with you, and when you're finished, I invite the next person to come up.
This is a cutting from one of my favorite author's books, Dusk, Night, Dawn by Anne Lamott. It's from a chapter called Repentability. I've been afraid since birth. I'm not sure I ever bounced back after reading of young Beth's death in Little Women. I've been scared of life and my parents dying for 60-some years now. I was raised to numb out by memorizing or obsessing and not do airy-fairy things like gaze in wonder or breathe. I was afraid of everything. Most men, bad grades, bullies, certain food. I was even afraid of the carousel at the zoo, which was supposed to delight all children. Riding on it, I often felt helpless, confused, lonely, and in danger, while faking a good time to make my folks happy. Round and round, horses with flaring nostrils, their lips pulled back so they could bite you, moving up and down so you might fall off. And the music was unearthly, creepy, though it was supposed to be jaunty, the way clowns are supposed to be charming, but both are scary. And not to sound petty, but it turned out you never got the horse you wanted. Someone had gotten to it first. You got stuck on some loser horse, or worse, a lion, with its arm-sized mouth and its golden red mane you knew would suddenly burst into flames. Lamont for a time relied on alcohol to help her cope with her fears, but ultimately she found reliance on that crutch wasn't working for her. Then she struggled, like many people, to become and then to stay sober. She says, "If you are blind or have leprosy or can't walk, one would think you don't need a cardboard sign to spell out the problem and your desired solution, that is, to walk. But this would be admitting powerlessness, which was and is the scariest part of getting sober. Finally, if you're lucky, the gift of desperation gives you the insight that you're in no position to dicker over how or by whom your sorry ass is going to be saved. I had to lean away from my own good ideas of salvation and lean toward the people who were staying sober. They said, 'Don't drink and ask God for help.' This was miserable and uncomfortable, like being a child again, but not as bad as the calliope mornings of active alcoholism. The life I'd only dreamed of, based in love and service, grounded and yet expansive, required the desire and willingness to be repented. I prayed, 'God, give me all I can stand, but be aware I can't stand much yet because I'm so pissed off.' My friend Father Terry convinced me that we would not get over much here, and that this was not the point. The point was to lean toward goodness, to resist less, to pray for our enemies. The point was to have a spiritual awakening of any sort that helped us live more often in kind awareness. I would rarely be in conformity with the divine's huge, crazy love, so I just prayed, 'Help me start walking in your general direction,' and the greatest prayer, 'Help me not be such an asshole.' If I repented to avoid hell, only my actions change, not my heart or outlook. If I'm repenting by leaning in closer to life, trying not to focus on everyone and everything that annoy me, then my perspective changes and I'm kinder. I trip out on myself way less often now, and this lets the generosity inside reveal itself. I find a whiff of willingness to grow. Both have come with age in the third of my life. So while I do not expect to get over much, I know that my motley, beloved friends and I have only a short time together left on this merry-go-round as it spins around the sun, rises and falls. At the same time, these friends are all sort of a marvelous mess, perfect and neurotic, driven and gentle, self-centered and crazily generous, fully alive and probably on their way out. They are chipped and slightly faded works of art, and they are the exact horse I've longed for all my life."
I guess it's natural to follow Marion since I've been following her for nearly 60 years. Since Saturday begins a new year, I thought I'd read this from our hymnal. It's number 544 in the back. New Year's Day. Oh, it's by Kathleen McTeague. The 1st of January is another day dawning. The sun rising as the sun always rises. Earth moving in its rhythms. With or without our calendars, to name a certain day as a day of new beginning, separating the old from the new. So it is, everything is the same, bound into its history as we ourselves are bound. Yet also we stand at a threshold. The new year is something truly new, still unformed, leaving a stunning power in our hands. What shall we do with this great gift of time this year? Let us begin by remembering that whatever justice, whatever peace and wholeness might bloom in our world this year. We are the hearts and minds, the hands and feet, the embodiment of all the best visions of our people. The new year can be new ground for the seeds of our dreams. Let us take the step forward together into new ground, planting our dreams well, faithfully, and in joy.
See if I can get this off without pulling out the hearing aids. You know, when you use 2 canes, you can't carry a purse. So everything has to go in your pocket. I have 2 poems this morning, both written by my favorite poet, my husband. The first, Blue Planet. A little blue speck lives far out in space. It goes round the sun, keeping excellent pace. Its seasons are marked by its tilt and its orbit, and the sun sheds its warmth while the seas do absorb it. A thin zone of gas is all that we share. For all forms of life, we call it the air. We abuse it, pollute it, and ask trade winds to scatter what progress excretes, then ask, what's the matter? To hell with blue skies, to hell with our health. What matters to us is more and more wealth. My senator says it's not understood, but melting the ice caps has got to be good. Look at the earth from way out in space. There's never a mark nor nary a trace of a boundary or edge or line in the sand that serves as a boundary for beast or for man. But wars still persist over unhallowed ground, and enemies clash over oil to be found. And extremists journey on far-reaching tours, exclaiming that my God is better than yours. A tiny blue planet lives out in space. It goes round the sun, keeping excellent pace. Though it sometimes seems big, it's a delicate place, and it's all that we have for our human race. The other one's a little lighter. I must be old. For I recall things once big now seem small. My yard, my bed, the kitchen floor, some marks of height on my bedroom door. Things were simple when I was young. I'd heed the bell when it was rung. The phone was likely a party line. 3 rings were yours, 2 rings were mine. All cars came standard with a clutch, and the cost of gas wasn't all that much. We shopped at the local grocery store, and they'd deliver right to your door. When you got sick, the doc would come and sit at your bedside and help you some. He'd check your pulse and feel your head and give you meds if you weren't dead. You rode to school on a 1-speed bike if you were lucky and didn't have to hike, and you left it in an unlocked rack, knowing it'd still be there when you got back. Lunch was served by several cooks who baked fresh bread while you read books. The meat was real, the veggies good, the dessert was cake, 'twas understood. The teachers taught with firm resolve, and story problems seemed hard to solve. Each day, life's lessons were instilled, in our young minds till they were filled. We learned to share and do what's right and solve our differences without a fight. We said yes, ma'am, and understood that talking back would do no good. Oh, ouch. The kids I knew how to play, whether it was a sunny or a rainy day. We rode our bikes and dug in dirt, and our mamas fixed us when we got hurt. That was just part of growing up. You were bound to get scrapes when you were just a pup. No special pads or helmets worn. Just try not to let your jeans get torn. Yeah, life was easy and simpler then, but our lives all changed when TV came in. 3 channels streamed in black and white and held us close until the night. Arthur Godfrey and Jean, Dale and Roy, and Della Street they did employ to keep us glued to that small screen so we'd buy products that'd keep us clean. Lux and Ivory and then Cam-A were sure to wash your sweat away. Brill Cream said, a little dab will do ya, but butch wax and pomade would make hair stick to ya. Oxidol made your clothes much brighter, while Miss Stewart's bluing made white shirts whiter. And you couldn't be seen without starch in your jeans. Those creases were part of every boy's dreams. Cokes came in bottles and just cost a nickel, and the butcher would sell you a single dill pickle. We all lived in houses with unlocked doors and kitchens so clean you could eat off the floor. I must be old, 'cause the things I remember are now gone away like a snow in September. They've vanished with time and now only give as memories in lines of words that I give.
I don't have a reading or a poem. I just wanted to share how grateful and thankful I am for everybody here, all my good friends that make me enjoy coming to this place. So thank you again.
Most of you know that Mom passed this week, and like Jim, what I want to say is, I have a reading, but I want to say thank you to many of you who have been through the same thing I went through with Mom's dementia as it went downhill, and I got a lot of encouragement from y'all, and you know who you are. And so thank you for that. And then about a year or so ago, Kel gave me this clipping, and I put it on my corkboard by my desk chair, and I didn't read it every day, but I read it most days, and sometimes I read it 3 times a day. So we are an older crowd, and like I said, a lot of us went through it. I was hoping there would be younger, and maybe on Zoom this might give someone something for down the road. It's titled, Do Not Ask Me to Remember. Do not ask me to remember. Do not try to make me understand. Let me rest and know you're with me. Kiss my cheek and hold my hand. I'm confused beyond your concept. I'm sad and sick and lost. All I know is that I need you to be with me at all cost. Do not lose your patience with me. Do not scold or curse or cry. I can't help the way I'm acting. Can't be different, though I try. Just remember that I need you, that the best of me is gone. Please don't fail to stand beside me. Love me till my life is done. So.
marching. We will not stop marching. We will not stop marching till the world can hear the song, till the world can sing along, till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along, till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world can sing along.
We will not stop praying. We will not stop praying. We will not stop praying till we all can get along, till the world can sing our song. We will not stop shouting. We will not stop shouting. We will not stop shouting. Shouting right from wrong till the world can sing our song. Till the world can sing. Till the world can sing. Till the world can sing along. Till the world can sing. Till the world can sing. Till the world can sing along. We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing. We will not stop singing till the world can hear our song, till the world can sing along.
Every Wednesday, the New York Times has a series they call Tiny Love Stories, which can be no more than 100 words. Here we are at the last Sunday of the year. Sometimes thinking about love can be fun at any time. I selected a few to read with you. Here's the first. When we became one, we grew up in even numbers. 2 parents, 4 sons, 6 people, 2 boys per bedroom, summers with 2 of us at one of our grandparents' houses and 2 at the other. Then we'd switch, always disciplined, referred to and taught about the facts of life in pairs. Then in middle age, Kurt called me to say that Greg, the youngest, had unexpectedly died. And I called Chris to tell him the same. Chris and I flew home, and Kurt met us at the airport. We held each other, and in that moment, 4 became 3, became 1. Brian Justice. My husband is not my son. Ever since I turned 45, my husband, who is 9 months younger than I am, has been repeatedly mistaken for my son. I have 2 20-something sons, but Mike is not one of them. I cannot say that I've taken it well or accepted it without a struggle. Botox has softened my lines, though my outlook has softened too. Now at 56, I see my husband's thick hair, slim physique, and smooth skin as a bonus of being his partner. It makes me feel desirable. 32 years ago, we chose each other. We choose each other still. Jane Marion wrote that. And this one, an edible bouquet. It was Valentine's Day, and I was his first girlfriend. He nervously asked me if I wanted flowers. I jokingly said I'd rather have bacon. When I returned from class, he came bearing a bacon and chicken nugget bouquet from Michelle Heng, New York University. Worth the wait. Jim was a striking combination of three friends I had crushes on, all of whom were straight. Luckily, Jim was gay, and we shared a mutual friend who introduced us 42 years ago. It took Jim a while to realize that I meant love. I meant to love him. I persevered until he reciprocated my feelings. We partnered and married. When Jim became ill, I took care of him for 6 years as his eyes shone, but his body became a shadow. Now I'm on my own again, looking not for a duplicate of Jim, but a complement. It's tough at 77. Persevere. Gil Narro Guerra. And this one, we weren't dreaming. Our lives aligned for 22 days. For different reasons, it was not meant to be. She had to leave Lebanon and return to school in the Netherlands. Soon, it will be time for me to return to school in Spain. Strangers in Beirut, we walked around, stopping for coffee, tea, beer, or wine. We could barely stop talking, but in retrospect, my favorite moments were the few silent ones. One wintry night, she lit the wrong end of a cigarette at my window. We laughed, but I kept it. I wanted a reminder after leaving the city, our city, that we were not dreaming. Alvaro Fernández Cruz at the Universidad de Madrid in Spain.
It is said the Lord loves a cheerful giver, but will accept from a grouch as well. As people take their gifts to the bowl or donate on the church app, may each of us look into not just our wallets or our checkbooks to see how much we have with us. Let us also look into our hearts and see what is available there. How much love, how much generosity, how much faith, how much gratitude, how much hope. And let us take our offering from that account.
Show to us again the garden where all us how to trust each other, how to use for good our part, how to touch the earth with reverence, and once more we'll eat in flour. Bless the earth and all your children, one creation make us whole, interwoven, all connected, planted wide and inmost soul. Holy Mother, life bestowing, bid our waste and warfare cease. Fill us all with grace overflowing. Teach us how to live in peace.
For the gifts which we have received and the gifts which we ourselves are, may we be truly grateful. May we be committed to using these gifts to make a difference in the world, to increase love and justice, to decrease hatred and oppression, to expand beloved community, to share and to keep sharing as long as ever we can. Amen. Follow the Light is our last song. This song was written in the weeks following 9/11.
Follow the light when you're lonely and lost. Out in the darkness you are tumbled and tossed. Follow your heart wherever you may be. Follow the light on home to me. Out on the sea, the waves heave and rise. Far from the shoreline, storm clouds mount the skies. We look for a sign, a welcoming sight, a beacon that shines to guide us home tonight. Follow the light when you're lonely and lost. When out on the ocean you are tumbled and tossed. Follow your heart wherever you may be. Follow the light on home to me. There's a hole in our skyline. There's a hole in our town. There's a hole in our hearts, the whole world around. How do we heal? Tell me, how do we see that mercy that shines for you and me? We follow the light. The world feels so big, you feel so small. Wonder if life has any meaning left at all. When you're losing your heart, when you're losing the fight, hold on to my hand and we will follow the light. Follow the light when you're lonely and lost. When out in the darkness you are tumbled and tossed. Follow your heart. Follow your heart.
I want to invite you to stand in body or spirit for the benediction and extinguishing the chalice. May all our hours together be blessed as this one has been, by open-hearted sharing, learning from one another, and making beautiful harmonies together. And may we greet everyone we encounter with the same acceptance and grateful kinship until we meet again. Blessed be. Please join me in saying the words to extinguish our chalice. The words are in the morning program. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.